Well, good afternoon and welcome to what is a chilly and blustery Collegians Sports Centre. I'm Mitch Jennings from the Illawarra Mercury, bringing you all the action for this Bar TV's coverage of the 1 versus 3 clash between the visiting Thirroul Butchers and the hosting Collegians Collie Dogs. From the top, some interesting developments this afternoon. My usual offsider, Johnny Pett, on a bit of a junket to Queensland, and a few too many Coke Zeros up there, and all sorts of dramas. Won't be here at the game, so I will be flying solo this afternoon. Apologies ahead of time for the viewers who do grow tired of hearing the one voice. He did want to pass on a message to all viewers, listeners who do comment in the comment section of the call. He's going to shout you a beer. So simply comment with that and your poison, and it'll be on Johnny Pett next time you see him. The home side out there on the field as we speak. They'll line up this way. Alec Reid at fullback, Jack Butler and Jai Ellis on the wing, Saxonona and Brad Manton the centres, Jared Boyle and Jack Cross are the halves. Up front, Jake Wood and Josh Dow. Joel Holdsworth returning from injury in the number 9. James Spencer and Blake Phillips in the back row. Paul Roberts locks the scrum. Brodie Rigg, Zach Hicks, Dwayne Williamson are the men on the bench, as well as Braden Hooper also there on the bench. The Butchers took the competition lead last week with a big win over Berkeley, making their way on to the park. They line up as per program at full strength. Blake Higgins at fullback, Hayden Crosland and Tommy Simpson the wingers. Wayne Dargan and Callum Tatawa are the centres. Ryan Fletcher and Jake Walsh the halves. Damien Sirinen up front alongside Joel Ruskin, the skipper and dummy half. Joel Johnson, Luke and Jay Gallagher are the back rowers. Michael Morris locks the scrum. From the bench, Jack Noble, Jake Walker, Aaron Shop and Jared Whitty. As we are about to get things underway, it'll be that man Jared Boyle. As I said, it's an afternoon you hope to have brought the jacket, but I'm sure things will be heating up on the field as Boyle does get us underway. And it is Noble who actually looks like he's got the start in the number 14, bringing that ball back off the back fence. Sitting out there as well, so it looks like the veteran Joel Ruskin shifting to the bench. This is Luke Gallagher, the back rower, taking it up over the 20. Johnson, the dummy half. And there is Sirinen, the statue, making his way up over the 30. He'll play it 35 metres out from his own line. Jay Gallagher now getting on the back of it. That's a good carry. The young Tyro from Glen Innes tearing into that carry as Mick Morris goes out there too. That might have got a bit of help, I think. It did. That is the call. Joel Holdsworth, he was the first man into the tackle, but the others arrived and the ball coming out. So a penalty first up in the first set there, and that's a big touch finder there from Ryan Fletcher. And here they are, they'll start the set 10 metres out, the Butchers, so a golden early opportunity for the competition leaders to tell with the quick tap, and he almost caught them unaware there. As Sirinen steaming onto this one. He'll play it 8 metres out, dead in front of the posts. Johnson, a dummy half. Second man for Fletcher. Fletcher dummies, and that's a good tackle down low there by Blake Phillips, the skipper. Lingering a little bit long in the tackle there. Johnson from dummy half. That would have been on the tip sheet all week. And Collegians all over the Butchers skipper there. Fletcher now on to Walsh. Walsh back on the inside for Sirinen, his second carry of the set. He's a metre out. Made to play it. Johnson a dummy half again. Fletcher to the line. Higgins, some numbers on this side. Simpson's going to pin his ears back for the corner, but the defence converges. And the Dogs there, they stand up to their first test, numbering up very well there on that edge. Butler making the tackle there with Alec Reid also involved, and Owner coming from the inside giving some help as well. So great work numbering up there from the Dogs. They survived their first defensive test of the afternoon. Obviously, myself and Johnny Pett spoke at length last week about the defensive qualities of this Collegians outfit, and we saw the best of it right there. So see things just a little bit slowed up. One of the Collies boys might have a bit of claret. Might be Spencer in the back row. Needs some attention. No, in fact, it looks like it's young Joel Holdsworth there. Just getting some running repairs. Plenty of purpose in that set. First up, though, from the Butchers. Coach Jared Costello will be pleased with what he saw from his side in that opening set. Big games like this one, the start, vitally important. We saw enough there, though, in that opening set to suggest both these sides well and truly up for this one. One of the games of the season they turned on in round one. The Butchers good enough by 2 points that day to get the win at Gibson Park. Collies will be desperate to pinch one back off them here on their patch. We'll still see some running repairs here on Holdsworth, starting to drag. Getting the old tape around the head, so he's in the wars just 3 minutes into this one, Holdsworth. Big inclusion for them, back from nursing, was a niggling hamstring injury. Plenty of faith shown by Nathan Feen in young Holdsworth. Paulie Roberts, one of the best on the park for the Dogs last week, playing at number 9, but shifting to the back of the scrum this week for Holdsworth to come back into the side. And this delay drags on and on. Spencer also receiving some attention, but looks like we will finally get things back underway. Holdsworth away from the scrum. Alec Reid with the first carry. This is Spencer. He'll be made to play at dead centre of the park on his own 20. On to Phillips. Involving himself early on, the skipper. He was a little bit left behind in the first half last week's Blake Phillips, but made his presence felt in the second half and doing it from the opening whistle this week. That is 1-1 in the penalties, both for stripping, so neither coach will be happy with the ill discipline from their sides early on. Some big touch finders on offer as Paul Roberts will nudge that one into touch. Butler with the inbound to Holdsworth. Holdsworth on to Phillips, his second carry. Back to back for the skipper. This is Wood. Underrated member of this pack, Jacob Wood. Taking it forward, and this is Josh Dowell. Barrelling onto that one, Dowell. He just sized up Fletcher there, went straight at him. Cross at first receiver, second man for Boyle, onto Roberts quickly. Roberts again, a nice exchange of passing there from the Dogs. Manton gets away from Tatawa. That'll be a battle to watch throughout the afternoon there, but Manton with some early points will give him the first round. Boyle now on to Roberts. Wood backing his way towards the try line. He'll be made to play it 5 metres out. Roberts at first receiver, second man for Cross. He drops that on the toe. It's taken a deflection. I thought Roberts might have actually been in front of the kicker there, but no penalty as Simpson takes it up, and they looked like they were up inside the 10 there, the Dogs, they were. So consecutive sets, the piggyback penalty from the Dogs. I'm sure the men in fluoro will have a strict message there from Nathan Feen to tidy that area up. So often makes the difference in these games, does discipline. So Dargan with the tap. Gallagher not quite at full pace as he takes that one. He'll take it up over the 40. Johnson at dummy half. Noble hit high there by Spencer. Wasn't a whole lot in it there from Spencer, but just creeping up slightly. And Jack Noble, he can't take a trick with that head cut. He's had the tape on for most of the year. And Spencer there putting a target on it. But again, another penalty conceded by the Dogs that opens up the door for the Butchers in fantastic field position. Johnson at dummy half, popping his head out that side. Walsh, he holds it up and dummies. Boyle comes the second sign to make the tackle. Gallagher, Sirinen. He'll play it on the 10-metre line. Centre of the field again. Johnson, second man for Fletcher. Flat ball there for Gallagher. And they'll say he's dropped that into the defence there, Gallagher. So numbering up very well on this side again. The Butchers didn't strip them at all there. They were man-to-man on this side, the Dogs. So passing the early test. Again, here we are 7 minutes into this one. It'll be crossed to feed the scrum. Onto Saxonona. He'll take it away from the scrum. 3 involved in that tackle. And now there it is slow, so referee Tyron Jordan, he's not going to muck around this afternoon. He's happy to blow the whistle. So the onus will be put back on the two sides out there to tidy up the discipline. As Spencer hit hard there front on and driven backwards in the tackle. Damien Siren and the man doing the grunt work. Roberts now. He'll be made to play at 45 out from his own line. Dow there finds his front. That's a good carry from the young prop. Siren perhaps fortunate not to be penalised for working him over there as owner. He's juggled that one and he gets hammered for his trouble. Damien Siren, a bee in his bonnet, the big blonde front rower for the Butchers. Owner wears it well though as Wood takes it over the 30. Holdsworth a dummy half. Boyle. And the kick will find the turf. Crosland going back for it. He'll leave it for his fullback Higgins. And a good chase on that kick too. So a good set there from Collegians. Butchers now with it all to do to get out of their own end. Good line speed there early on. Dowell making that tackle with Wood, the two front rowers. Crosland now in off the right wing. He's up towards the 20, but slow going this set for the Butchers. Simpson now, the back five getting involved. That tackle might have crept up from Roberts, but around the shoulders is the call. And now it's Wayne Dargan coming back in field. 35 metres from his own line last tackle, so muscling up in defence are the Dogs, and that kick will come from inside 40 from Walsh. Alec Reid takes it on the full, and he's going to pinch the metres as well, so they'll start this set in good field position, although Ryan Fletcher shortening up Alec Reid there. Butler. You could throw a blanket over the Dogs at the minute, all crowded around the play the ball. Not much width at all in what they're doing. And this looks like Jai Ellis in off the left wing, it is. He'll be made to play at dead centre of the park on halfway. Starting to fan out into their positions now, the Butchers. Phillips, a skip and a hop. Really throwing himself into things early, Blake Phillips. Plays it on the 40. Long ball from Boyle, some space for Manton, and he's almost skipped away from Tatawa again. So Brad Manton giving his opposite, Callum Tatawa, all he can handle early on in this one as Holdsworth finds the ground, and the chasers might have been in front there. Paulie Roberts is called out, and he does make his way back on side, avoiding the penalty there. Another good set and kick on the end of it from the Dogs. Tommy Simpson trying to bash his way out of trouble. Getting numbers in the tackle, the Dogs. And Boyle now trying to lead the line speed there, the number 6. Appealing for a penalty, the Butchers, and they'll say it was. And Blake Phillips just coming in, perhaps rightly, to ask what is going on. They've been pinged in 4 or 5 of their opening couple of sets there for that penalty, and high shot is the call. Jared Boyle, he was trying to lead some light speed there and really get up in their grill, but it ends up being a relieving penalty. Trying to lead from the front defensively, Boyle, and he might have just been a little bit over-eager as Tower steps away from his supports and takes it up towards the 40. He does a 360 before he's put on the deck. Crosland at dummy half. Morris plays it on the 40. Siren and a flat ball. Fletcher, he's going to bring Gallagher back through the middle. Some space for Luke Gallagher. Some good contact there from Holdsworth. Little man on big man. Johnson, a flat ball there for Walsh. It wasn't the pass he was after. A rare poor pass from dummy half there from Joel Johnson. It's Morris now. Crabbing his way up towards the 10-metre line. He'll play it just short of it. Walsh. Second man, some space for Higgins. He's found Thirroul. It's a Thirroul streak away there from Brad Manton. And he'll cross for the first try. Just touching on at the other end. Brad Manton asking plenty of questions of Thirroul on that side, but with his share of the footy there, Thirroul, he breezes past his opposite Brad Manton there and scores the first try. Made it look easy in the end. Nice job there from Blake Higgins, chiming into the back line. He is a converted halfback 5'8", playing in the number 1, and he summed that up nicely. Just gave his outside man enough of a leash to get around his opposite. Hayden Crosland holding his line on the chalk. Keeping Jai Ellis occupied on that side, and Thirroul striding across for the first 4-pointer. And it looks like it'll be Luke Gallagher attempting the conversion. Jake Walsh has been hitting them quite well off the tee for most of the season. Gallagher picking up some injuries early on, but over on that side, it is the right side you want to be kicking on as a left footer. The breeze swirling around, not really favouring either side, but certainly making it a tough afternoon for the kickers. You'll want to get a solid piece of this Gallagher and hope for the best. Moves in, and he has got a fairly good piece of that Gallagher, and the flags go up, and that is certainly not easy, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned the breeze. It is swirling in a very, very tough one. You'd expect the fullbacks to cop a bit of treatment as well, but Gallagher making that one look easy. 6-0 the score, 14 minutes gone. It's another one Nathan Thien will probably chalk up to the penalties his side have given away at the other end of the park. Boyle putting this one high. Fletcher coming forward to field it, and Noble, the defence right in his face. Good opening stint from Noble. Both the big men for the Butchers throwing themselves into it. Gallagher in off the edge. Jared Costello, the Butchers coach, clearly wanting to play a power game through the middle in this one, and that's Sirenin steaming onto it. So their tails up now on the back of that opening try, the Butchers. Edging their way up towards halfway. Gallagher now. Gallagher, and that tackle might have crept up a little bit as well, but play on the call. Spencer over on that side, the man perhaps getting away with one there. Morris takes it up towards the 30, dead in front of the post. They go right to Walsh. Walsh, a high testing one for Alec Reid coming across, and that's a good take there from Reid. He had the defence bearing down on him, but all said and done, a very, very good set there from the Butchers after points, making their way up the park and getting a good kick on the end of it. And once again, as the Dogs bunched around the play the ball, really like to see them fan out a little bit and just take some pressure off their men in the middle. As Phillips now, that's a good carry from the skipper, and they needed it. Had the arm free as well, but perhaps wisely holds onto that one. Cross on the short side. Owner crabbing his way back in field, trying to catch out some lazy defenders. Gallagher making the tackle there with Noble. And now Boyle, he'll put the kick down looking for the grass, and he'll find it, and that's a good set in response there, Collies. They started that one just metres out from their own lane, marched their way up the park, and Jared Boyle, a good kick on the end of it just to give his side a spell. A mountain of defensive work they have got through, although, as we said from the top, it's largely their own doing by the way of ill discipline. And a hectic start that was. It's been some penalties, but not a lot of true stoppages here. It's been a hectic start to the game. Here we are, 16 minutes into this one. As the sun emerges over on that side, thankfully. Simpson, tough to handle from the wing, Tommy Simpson. He's Spent a lot of his time playing footy in the back row, and you can see it in some of his carries out of trouble. Wayne Dargan. They've been heavily involving themselves, the back five from the Butchers early on. Morris, have to imagine he'll have a bit of a bee in his bonnet after missing a game through suspension last week. Ordinarily barely misses a minute of a season, does the super fit lock forward. Sirenan's on the 40. And Johnson, he's looking to pinch a 40-20. He was outside. And it looks like Alec Reid getting that call from his teammates. Showed some urgency, though, to get across there. Reid, and something they'll need to be awake to, Joel Johnson. He's not their first or even second choice kicker, but capable of finding the touchline out of dummy half. Holdsworth now from dummy half. He takes it up over the 40. Boyle. Now that's a flat ball. For Hicks, I think it is on the field. Play it on the 40. Boyle again, making his way back towards the post, and he's going to send this one down for Higgins to field. It's actually Jake Fitzgerald, the man that's come onto the field in the 16 for the Dogs. Conspicuous in those bright red boots. It's Crosland in off the wing. And now a wide ball for Fletcher as they try to play with some widths. Gallagher, and tell you what, if Wayne Dargan had held his line on the outside there was some space. Tommy Simpson unmarked on this side, but Gallagher takes it to ground. It is that man Dargan now making his way back in field. Over halfway, and a bit of a collision there, and Paulie Roberts has hit the deck and barely moved here. Not sure what he sort of picked up there. Seen a bit of an innocuous collision. Maybe copping a bit of an awkward one, Roberts. Get another member of that Butchers back five. Taking their side back to the middle, doing plenty to help their forwards at their own end of the park. Plenty of size and strength available there between your Dargans, Tommy Simpson and Tatawa. Particularly the men on this edge with Luke Gallagher there. It is a big left edge that the Butchers have at their disposal. It looks like Roberts is okay, perhaps just knocking the wind out of himself a little bit there. He takes his place in the defensive line. Open side they come to Fletcher. And it takes a bit of a charge down, and Phillips reels that one in. So not the end of the set they would have been looking for. And Colley's starting this one 10 metres off halfway. And a penalty on the back of it as well. So the arm going up both ways early on and frequently. Boyle finds touch, so big opportunity, Collies. They've been on the back foot for a lot of this first 20 minutes or so, but a chance to peg back that 6-point margin. Roberts plays it centre field. Dow, and a flat ball there for Fitzgerald. A little bit far from the defensive line there, and Fitzgerald, he's fighting his way up, and they're going to say penalty, and it's another one back-to-back, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a long afternoon if the penalties continue at this rate. Cross onto Dow. Holdsworth. Fitzgerald. He'll play it just in front of the left upright. Boyle. Second man there for Reid. Reid, he goes back off his left foot. Might have been collected high there by Walsh, but they'll say play on. Just ducking underneath it, Alec Reid. In defence of Walsh, he's only of diminutive stature. He is the Collies fullback. Fitzgerald 10 metres out. Roberts flat ball there for Dow. He'll play it a metre out, looking for a quick play the ball. Just getting crowded in around the ruck. Holdsworth flat ball for Cross. That's a good ball for Butler. But Simpson read it well on this edge as well. They make the tackle. And perhaps would have liked to get the ball on the ground and into the in-goal there, but a result not too disheartening for Nathan Feen. The Butchers will have to bring it out from their own end. Dargan looking to do just that. He'll play it 5 metres out from his own line. Ruskin, his first carry. Looks like he's come on for Damien Siren and earning his first break of the afternoon. To Tower in from right centre. Takes it up to the 20. Some space on the side where he's come from, but Johnson getting out from dummy half. That's a good carry from the skipper. So adept at picking his times, and now it's to Tower again. So just lifting the tempo of their game there. They were doing it tough in that set, but back-to-back tough runs there from Tower and Johnson. And Ellis is going over to that one. So after starting just metres out from their own try line, a very, very good set there from the Butchers. So the Dogs with the footy 10 metres out from their own line. It'll be Boyle to feed the scrum. Manton away at first receiver. Morris breaking from the scrum to make that tackle with Gallagher and still driving the legs, Manton. He ends up losing a couple of metres there. Holdsworth at dummy half. Manton centre partner there, owner. So perhaps taking lead off the Butchers. The back five for the Dogs getting themselves right involved. And Blake Phillips, that's another carry for him. The stat line racking up for the skipper there as Fitzgerald now off his right foot towards halfway. And there's another penalty. And as I said, it's going to be a very long afternoon if it continues at this rate. Of course, my offsider Johnny Pett not here normally keeps a pretty good tally of what the penalties are, so the exact numbers escape me at present, but there's a lot of them as Holdsworth goes off his left foot. Boyle at dummy half. Flat ball for Dowell. It's a good run from Dowell. He's got the offload, or looking for the offload there with the arm free, but he'll take it to ground. And now it's Roberts at first receiver playing link man. Boyle, space out there. It's taken a deflection. Reed dummies. That'll be 6 to go. Reed crabbing his way back in field. Goes off his right foot. They were stripped for numbers. Shot to pieces on that side, the Butchers. So lucky the deflection came for them as Johnson making the tackle on his opposite number there. They're a metre out, the Dogs. Reed onto Roberts, who I'm not sure was expecting that one, but he crabbing his way across field. Some space there for Owner, and that'll be the try. Something out of nothing. Butler will cross over on this side. Good play there. Really looked like there was nothing doing for the Dogs there, but Paulie Roberts breaks a tackle, creates some space on the outside, and on this edge for the Butchers, Tom Simpson just caught in no man's land a little, and it allows Butler to cross over in the corner, and it'll give Jack Cross the chance to level this one up. A good hit back from the Dogs. Ono might have just picked up a bit of a knock there in producing that last pass. It'll be a tough one, as I mentioned, a tough afternoon for the kickers. There won't be any easy assignments off the tee here. And so Cross will move in to attempt this one. Certainly appears kickable from our angle, but that's why we're up here. And he's got a nice piece of that cross. Just hugs the outside of the left upright there. So the score's all level, 6 apiece, high quality game through this first 25 minutes. Still very much anybody's.
Back to the try scorer for the Collegians and converted by Jack Cross.
So Gallagher with the tee, he'll get us back underway. Off the left boot, sailing down towards there. It just gets the bounce there. Spencer and Boyle both looking back for that one, and Dowell comes forward there and he's dumped on his back there. 17, I think it's Purcell might have come onto the field. In fact, it's Jared Whitty. Spencer driven backwards in this one. Holdsworth and now Phillips. You just sense the captain. He's up for a big game this afternoon. Really putting his side on his back. Coming out of trouble now. Roberts getting on the back of his work. And now it's Boyle from inside 40 and he's going to push this down. Crosland going back and, geez, he makes it look easy in the end. Crosland, I tell you, it wasn't with the sun in the eyes, but on that edge, Hayden Crosland, he's got a habit of making the complicated look very simple. As Tommy Simpson takes it up towards the 40. Fletcher now, Dargan. Dargan just loses his footing there slightly, and we see Mick Morris, the lock forward. He's in the wars again, getting the strapping tape. So the trainers for both sides earning their beers this afternoon as Ruskin, with the socks down, takes it up towards halfway. And now there's another penalty, and you just get the sense whichever side can just get a handle on their discipline is really going to go a long way to winning this one, because neither side can really tick that box through this first 27 minutes. Dargan onto Gallagher. Gallagher take it up towards the 30. Plays it to Johnson. Walsh, flat ball for Ruskin. He'll play it 20 metres out. Johnson. Gallagher back on the inside. Purpose in that carry from the back rower. Still going 5 metres out. Butcher's turning it on. Colley's under pressure. Now it's Walsh. Walsh second man for Fletcher. And now Dargan to the outside of owner. He's done well on the flick pass for Simpson, and he'll cross out wide. Beautifully done from Dargan. It did look a tad sideways, the way they went, but Fletcher just creating space with the pass there for Dargan, and beautifully done from the Butchers centre there. He just held the ball long enough to commit Butler on this edge. And Tommy Simpson goes over untouched. A bit of talk behind the post there from the Collie Dogs. A bit of a question mark on the pass. Hard to tell from our position, but certainly lovely work done there from Dargan. And we see some wholesale replacements made by Nathan Fein here. It looks like Spencer, Owner, Holdsworth all earning a spell. In fact, Owner might have just picked up a bit of a knock and being seen to by the medical staff. Gallagher will attempt to make it a 6-point ball game. Again, a tough task here. The wrong side for a left foot of the breeze, making it tough for the men with the boot. They haven't had an easy assignment yet this afternoon, has Gallagher. But he moves in, and he's hit that pretty well. It's got a bit of a Jonathan Thurston type curl on it, but it's waved away. Pretty good effort there from Gallagher. It looked in off the tee, but with that left to right fade of the left footer, it just misses to the right of the posts. So Jared Boyle with the restart. 10-6 the score. It's a high one again. A testing one for Fletcher, and that's a good take in here from Fletcher. Saxon Ono was coming through and had eyes only for the Butchers 5'8", so he does well, Fletcher. And Ruskin, that one's out in front of him. He reels it in, though. A brave take from the Butchers 5'8" there. And now it's Walsh. Walsh dummies to the outside, and he's put in his back there by Phillips. Phillips looks like he's moved into the middle of the park now, and Gallagher just getting to the outside of Boyle there. He almost pokes his head through the other side, but dragged down by Manton, I think it was. Yes. Morris takes it over his own 40. Last tackle, kickers on both sides of the ruck. They go right to Walsh, and he'll put this back towards the post. Alex Reid not getting the bounce he was after. It's a cruel one, and in the end Ellis will pick it up and bring it back. A few of the Butchers chasers, I think, were called out by referee Tyron Jordan there. And now Butler off the wing, and Jared Whitty came in looking for a shot. He doesn't quite stick, the young bloke, but Butler plays it on the 40. This looks like Hicks just come onto the park, into the back row to push Blake Phillips into the middle. And now's Brodie Rigg coming on fresh. He can really cause some havoc for the Butchers here with his running out of dummy half 9 minutes before the break. Roberts doing just that. Roberts steps off, and he's got the flick pass there. Hicks into the backfield. He's got support. Saxon owner, and Butler's going to grab his second. Roberts in a bit of trouble in the back play, but he's had a hand in both their tries this afternoon, Roberts, and some lovely work there. Just got on the back of Brodie Rigg's work out of dummy half and created some space. And nicely done by Hicks on this side. Got him behind the Butchers line, and he finds owner in support. They were swarming on the footy, the Dogs. Certainly not sleeping on that play, and Butler having a field day on this right edge. He grabs his second try. So again, the hit back comes, and comes quickly from the Dogs. A high quality game of footy we're getting this afternoon. Roberts is, as I said, been very good. Had an important touch in both of their tries this afternoon, but he's been in the wars as well. Just being seen to there. Hopefully he is alright and will be able to continue. Cross will attempt a conversion, slightly more difficult than his last attempt. And Roberts just clutching at a jaw there. I'm not sure, was following the ball, didn't see the collision in back play, but certainly look a little bit worse for wear there. He'll make it to the sideline. Roberts' cross. You just see, looking from behind here, a sizable number 7 he is. Spends most of his time in the back row, but certainly doing a very good job for Nathan Feen at halfback. Pure footballer, I think, is the old school term for it, and that's missing away to the left. So the score remains 10 apiece. 6 minutes before half time. Really is a very fair indication of the way this opening 40 has played out. Both sides on song defensively and with the footy.
Score goes to 10 points all. But 6.5 minutes in the first half remaining.
And you just sense a big 6 minutes coming up here before half time. Both sides would love to just retake the lead by whatever means, just to have their noses in front at half time. And Manton, he dummies to Josh Dowell and tucks the ball under his arm himself, and that's a good carry as well. Doing a front rower's work there, Manton. So it is Dowell steaming onto that one. Good line speed there. I think it was Jared Whitty, the freshman on the park, getting up there and just chopping down the big man's legs. Phillips, fast losing count of the carries he's racking up, and the ball's come clear, and that'll be another penalty. And well, it's really been the story of this first 40 minutes. Both sides guilty of just giving away piggyback penalties. And so with 5 minutes to half time here, the Dogs, they'll start a set inside Butchers' territory. They'll be looking to go ahead there. Phillips, again, sapping plenty of juice from the defence. Dowell, you can put him in that boat as well. 25 metres out on the scrum line. Wood It's the low tackle there from Whitty, but finds his the front rower. Retreating defensive line, Riggs, so dangerous against that Manton. He just tried to skip to the outside of Thirroul, who reels him in well. Boyle at first receiver, finds Phillips. Phillips. This is where he's dangerous, when it looks as if play has just broken down. Cross, deep in the line, a flat ball there for Hicks, and that's a brilliant tackle there. I think it was Whitty, it was. That's a great tackle, one-on-one with the try line beckoning. A lot of players might be tempted to go high there, trying to wrap up the ball, but Jared Whitty acts like in defence and saves a 4-pointer there for his side. Ruskin trying to edge his way out of his own end, and now it's the Butchers you could throw a blanket over. Bunched in behind the play, the ball, not a lot of adventure you would think we'll see in this set. Gallagher, so strong through the hips and legs, Gallagher. He takes it up towards the 20, and now the Butchers with some forward momentum. Johnson out of dummy half, but they're awake to it there. That time the Dogs, he only pinches a couple of metres. Walsh, some numbers here. Dargan skips to the outside of Ona, but Ona comes again and makes the tackle. Talked about the battle on the other side. This is developing into epic between the two number 3s. And now Fletcher will put the kick down. Alex Reid, he goes forward then backwards, but reels it in nicely, and he's met there. That's a thankless task for the fullback, taking it right into the meat of the Butchers' defence. Ellis in off the left wing looking for a carry. And geez, I thought he'd mishandled that one, but allowed to play it. Phillips. Looks as if Phillips has actually moved onto that left edge over there. So middle end hedge for the skipper, and a nice little heads up play there. Manton still going Manton. There was a lovely little heads up play there from Rigg at dummy half. Almost caught them napping on that blind side. Now it's Boyle. Dummies twice. Second man for Cross. Second man again for Reid. Dargan misses the tackle, but Whitty again doing the clean up work. Last tackle. Boyle on the short side. No dummy half. And Wood looking for it, and that's a meek end to that set. Jared Boyle on the short side with numbers, but no dummy half at the ball. I'm not sure where Brodie Rigg was on that one, the number 14. But ended up the big front rower, Jake Wood, with the footy at dummy half. That's not where he likes to pick it up. And now Gallagher over on the right edge. Takes it over his own 20, and they go short side again to Tower. Still going. Lovely footwork to Tower, but he's got some strength to go with it. Now Ruskin, that was a good ball there, just to create some space for the front rower. And now Walsh with the kick. Might be looking for touch here, and Alec Reid, he'll have no problem letting that one roll over the sideline. 1:53 on the clock, and doesn't look as if either side is all that keen to get back there and pack this scrum. It's been played at a frantic pace. And as we've touched on a couple of times, the amount of penalties both sides have had to really withstand an onslaught defensively at different stages of this first 40. But there's 90 seconds left in this first half, 10-all the score, and we'll see how much adventure Collegians will have in this set. Maybe some trick shots out of the Nathan Fiend playbook as Butler takes that one back towards the forwards, breaking from the scrum. So nothing too clever there as Hicks now had an impact on this edge, Hicks, since coming on as a fresh man, but he's dumped on his back there. Joel Johnson doing the rough stuff there, and now it's Fitzgerald, and he's doing it tough to make it up towards the 30. And now a little chip kick. He's looking for Reid with that one, Boyle, but Walsh going back and tidying it up well. He dummies to Higgins, who almost stopped on a dime there, and 42 seconds left. So the Butchers, they will have a chance to mount something if they are so inclined. Johnson a first receiver, and that's not where you want him doing the grunt work. He looked to his outside, and perhaps his teammates there already had their minds on half time, and Morris, not quite the pass he was after either, Morris. So a bit clunky this set from the Butchers. 13 seconds left. This will be their last shot of the half. Second man for Thirroul. Look to create on his own. He's crabbing his way back in field. And he went to kick for himself, but he's had a clean air swing at it. And that'll just about bring us to the end of the first 40. And that is the halftime siren. 10-all the score. A high quality first 40 minutes from both sides. You just sense this one is going to go right down to the wire into those final minutes. But 10-all the score, halftime in this one. Collegians versus Thirroul. We'll be back with the second 40 minutes in just a little while. Welcome back to Collegians Sport Centre. You can certainly sense that this one is going to go right down to the wire. 10-all the score as we begin the second half. First versus third, an absolute blockbuster, and both sides turning it on in that first 40. Real tough grind. May just see it open up a little bit in this second 40, as we mentioned throughout the call. Discipline perhaps letting both sides down at times. I'm sure that was high on both coaches' team talk list at halftime. Gallagher will get us back underway. Plenty to be written, at all to be decided. Gallagher sends this one down. Boyle going back to field it and just catches him off guard a little bit, but he reels it in. And Josh Dowell didn't have a spell in that first 40. We absolutely marvelled last week on the call at his work rate. Fitzgerald plays it to Phillips. So much purpose in what he's done this afternoon, Phillips. Cross onto Hicks, or it's Wood rather, on that side. Just patrolling out a little bit wider than his normal terrain, but he'll play it to Rigg. Fitzgerald, bit of a shimmy at the line. He'll be made to play it 45 out from the butcher's line. Boyle putting this one high. This will be a tester for Higgins at the back, swirling around, but does well to get under this one and reel it in, Higgins. But a good first upset from the Dogs to start the second half. So important with the match poised as it is to not give the other side a leg up, and it's exactly what they're trying not to do, as the Butchers now doing it tough out of their own end. Thirroul takes it up towards the 30. Ruskin, the pass out in front of the veteran, but he takes it up towards the 40. Johnson out of dummy half. Gallagher back on the inside with the head of steam, but he slips over there. A lot of purpose comes out of that run. Now it's Walsh kicking this one down towards Butler. There's a shade going over that end of the park. That would have been a tough take in the first half, and he gets hit there, Butler, but it was a slow-ish chase there from the Butchers. They gave Butler plenty of room to wind up, but he's copped a fair shot when he gets to the defensive line. I think it was Gallagher and Morris. You can leave me out of that one. Owner shortens that one up there. Phillips just sense a big game performance coming from the skipper, Blake Phillips. Just been everywhere, wanting to get his side over the line in the big one. The top of the call touched on their clash in round one. The Butchers winning that one by 2. And they'd be desperate to peg one back. Collegians, their top 2 hopes virtually on the line this afternoon. You've got to try amongst those 3 heavyweights at the top of the ladder not to certainly surrender home games to them. And player back here, it's Butler again. As I said, feeling the effects of that shot, but he's making his way back up into the line now. And Simpson trying to pinch some metres. There he's 15 metres out, and it looks like also Jared Whitty nursing something in back play for the Butchers now. And Targan, that's a good shot on that side. Lost his footing slightly, Dargan, but Saxonona was all over him there. Gallagher, 25 metres out from his own line. This is a tough set for the visitors. Morris back on the inside for Whitty, who seems to have recovered, and we're just sensing a little bit of a scuffle in back play. Boys getting right amongst it. I think it's Gallagher and Cross coming together there. But we'll see a stoppage, and not quite sure what sparked that, but we've got a touchy in over from that edge. Didn't see what sparked it. The scuffle itself, not a lot doing there. You'd like to see play on the call. Just sense that we won't. So they're well handled there by the referee, Tyron Jordan. Just a bit of a talking to the skippers, and we'll get on with it. And now back in behind the line, Fletcher. He's got the big boot he does possess. In fact, it was Jake Walsh. And Alec Reid with a head of steam onto this one. He's not the biggest fullback, but really steamy onto that one. And that's a great carry from the fullback, putting his side right on the front foot. And again, just a bit of a lazy chase on the kick there from the Butchers. Looks like they've just come out of this break a little bit on the back foot. Collies all guns blazing. We talk about it often, myself and Johnny Pett, who, if you have just tuned in, isn't here today. He's nursing a sore head in an airport in Queensland somewhere. But Nathan Thien just has a knack of getting his side to come out of half-time with it all steaming onto it. Now Boyle and Sirinen coming together in the back play as well. So both sides coming up with a bit of a bee in their bonnet here. They're sensing this is a big one and they're not going to give an inch. And that is Boyle now leading that defence there. That's a quick play, the ball from Thirroul, a good one, and Sirinen with a bit of room to move there. He's dumped on his back. 18 metres from his own line. Very, very slow going, so a bit of width in the play there now, and Fletcher tackled over there by Cross. Making metres with the footy, or without it rather, the Dogs, as Morris takes it over the 20. That's the last tackle, so really muscling up defensively, the Dogs, and Walsh will have to kick it from deep inside his own end again. Landing in no man's land, and here you go, it can be cruel, the rugby league bounce. And Thirroul coming in, looking to shut that down. That was good work there from Thirroul. Out here in the centres, and perhaps noticed how lackadaisical they'd been on kick chase a couple of plays before. And although he's made some space there, Ellis is away down the side. Gallagher, the back rower, coming across. And he gets away from one, Ellis, and he looked for the offload there, and it's hit the deck. And both Rigg and Boyle there remonstrating with the referee. I just gave Callum Thirroul a rap for leading the chase on the kick there, but just a bit slow getting back into the line. Jared Boyle sensed it, creates some space over on this edge, and young Jai Ellis perhaps over exuberance of youth there in trying to squeeze that pass out. So the opportunity does go begging, but got to be a wake-up call for the Butchers. They've come out of this break just a little bit flat, it seems, and actually will be a Collies feed. They'll say Ellis was stripped and then lost it. And, geez, that was line ball at best, that pass. Saxonona just crowding his halfback for room there, but we'll call it a 50-50. Now Fitzgerald. He'll play at 12 metres out. Boyle for Phillips. Phillips, he looked for support and he was all on his own. Alec Reid, the fullback, I think he was expecting to come off Boyle's shoulder there. And Rigg from dummy half. You can't let him go from there. He'll hurt you. And they do pull him up short there. And now Phillips from dummy half. He's going to have a go from close range as well. And they're going to say held up the call. He'll be made to play at 10 metres out, Phillips. Awake to it there, the Butchers. It's on every tip sheet when you're playing against Brodie Rigg at dummy half. Do not let him go from dummy half close to the line. And that's taken a deflection. I don't know if it was played at. And I did see there, Manton. I don't think Thirroul was any chance of getting to that loose ball, but Brad Manton, unsighted behind him, has just taken him out off the footy, and penalty results. Collies with their tails up coming into the second half. In a sense, that's a relieving penalty for the Butchers. Crosland with the inbound pass. And now it's Gallagher. Got to give the back rower a rap for his chase. He had Jai Ellis, just a runaway winger here on this edge, and Gallagher came across and just did enough to make him crab his way back in field, and perhaps did enough to stop the try. And that's just awful footy there. Noble, I think he was expecting to go through, was a bit of a decoy, and Walsh has just cannoned it into him. So again, we see just out of sorts early in this stanza, the Butchers. So Boyle again to feed the scrum. And it just gets held up in the scrum there. Not sure if any of the Butchers defenders were onside there, and they'll say no, they weren't. And now Rig called back. He'll provide the tap. Wood taking it up to the 20. Big opportunity to open their second half account here. Collies, and now Cross coming on that with a head of steam, and that pass just out in front of Reed. I think Reed pulled out of that one, perhaps thinking it was a pass meant for owner, and it amounts to nothing. That play as they will come back infield. Hicks still carrying defenders forward. That's a good run from the back row. Rig from dummy half. He's going to go again. And he's got there this time, and well, we just say it every week when he's there. He's going to have a crack from dummy half. It's on every single tip sheet in this league. You can't let him go over from dummy half, and the Butchers will have some questions to answer down there. They've come out looking very flat in this half. We're 10 minutes into it. Colley's making all the running. Cross will take the kick from right in front of the post. You would think knock it over and give his side a 6-point lead. Even I couldn't put the mock on him from in front, surely. So Cross with what's no doubt his easiest assignment of the afternoon. His teammates haven't been kind. They've been giving him some tries from wide out, but this one from dead in front. And he moves in and heaves that one into the car park. So 16-10 the score. Colley's in front. The Butchers looking for someone to lift them. It'll be Gallagher with the restart. We'll see if that just jolts them into action. Gallagher putting this one high. Reed coming forward to it. And Dow couldn't quite get the head of steam up he'd been looking for. It's a Tower making that tackle with Morris. Fitzgerald takes it over the 20. And Rig, that's clever play from Rig, just trying to catch the markers. Not square there. Boyle. Phillips right up on the advantage line there. He finds his front to the captain, looking for the quick play. The ball, he'll get it. And now Boyle with a kick on the end of it, and that is the type of set you want after points. Higgins bringing that ball back. Reed making the tackle. And we just see the Butchers just a little bit slow coming back on side here. Crosland skips away from one tackle, but he's tackled on the 20-metre line, dead centre of the park. And now Simpson in off the wing. That's a good run from Simpson. He's carried some defenders up towards the 30, and boy did they need that one. Now Sirinen. Flat ball there for Noble. Good contact there from Rig and Wood. And now Sirinen, that ball was another 50-51, and well, that is an absolute coach killer of a penalty. The Butchers, they were doing it tough coming out of their own end late in the tackle count, and the Dogs just a little bit too eager there. Blake Phillips, he can't believe it, asking the question again. Collies, it's just been discipline. It's just been their Achilles heel this afternoon, and that's the definition of a piggyback penalty. Is Gallagher now. He's 25 metres out. Sirinen, low tackle there, and he's dumped on his back. Damien Sirinen, 15 metres out, just to the right of the post. Walsh, a long ball, flat ball for Gallagher. That was a great ball from Walsh, and Gallagher reaches out and he'll score. Referee Tyron Jordan, he's taken a tumble. Referee in the line of duty there, hits the deck, but A very solid view of that, and a beautiful short ball there from Walsh. Just went right into the line. Jake Walsh, and a beautiful line from Gallagher. He's just been about their best forward this afternoon, Jay Gallagher, and he just ran a beautiful line there. And Alec Reid, he did his best, but Jay Gallagher from close range with the room to wind up, near impossible to stop, and he reaches out the arm and slams it down. And we're all locked up again. It's been the case of the afternoon when either side manages to get their nose just slightly in front. The other produces a quick hit back, and the trend has been after a penalty. So the mantra the same from the first half. The side that can just get on top of their discipline will think be the one that can build some pressure. Gallagher, this is one of those pressure ones. It's should knock it over, but it's not a gimme. In a game like this where every point counts, it's a tough one, and he didn't try to heave the cover off that one, Gallagher. He just nudges it over. Made light work of it in the end. Boyle puts this one high. And Dargan, he's just caught them out that side. He's going to sprint away. He's going to take some catching from there, Dargan. Jared Boyle coming across. The only reason he was in a position to make that tackle, he was back after making the kickoff. And Dargan pitching 50 metres there. And Johnson, some space on this edge. Walsh just straightening. Higgins off his left. Sirinen pushing his way up towards the line. He'll play it just to the right of the uprights. Johnson at dummy half. Morris. Gallagher. He'll take a settler. Noble, second man for Walsh. He's got Thirroul coming back against the grain. He loves that line. And he's steaming towards it. He's reached out. He's just short to Thirroul. Looked for all money like he was over. And flat ball there. And Sirinen can't handle. And a knock on there. So the Collies defence equal to the task. They got up really quick there. It was a pressure ball for Sirinen to take. A big man that close to the line. The defence bearing down on him. So Collies now out of their own end. That's Ona, the centre, coming in to do some of the grunt work. And now it's Phillips taking it up towards the 30. I think that's Spencer with the head taped out of half time. Takes it to the 40. Dowell lets that one go across him there, and all of a sudden, just like that, it's Collie suddenly looking out of sorts. Not quite finding the pass thereafter, and heads up there from Boyle, and Butler will produce the left foot kick. And in the end, not an awful end to that set, but Boyle, he'd seen the space on the outside, and I think his outside men were expecting the kick and not quite awake to it. Those little opportunities in a game like this one can really come back to haunt you. And Rigg looking to lead the line speed there to Tower. And I think that ball got some help on the way out. Looked like it definitely got some help from here. Both touchies keep it down, and well, there's been some 50-50s, but from our angle, perhaps a better vantage point than what was available to the officials there. That definitely looked like it got some help. And so Collies, they'll start this set inside Butcher's territory. And that's gone straight out the back. That can't have been a set piece from the Dogs, as Reid will take it straight back to where the forwards are breaking from the scrum. He'll play it to cross at dummy half, and Owner, big contact there. He wears it well, Owner. He'll play it on the 40. Boyle at first receiver, and a wide ball there for Spencer. Spencer bumping away from Thirroul and heading back infield. Morris making that tackle with, I think it was Noble. Both sides really hitting and sticking in defence here. Gallagher will make that tackle there on Wood. Walsh also involved with Morris. Some numbers short side here where Jared Boyle is. He's seen it and he's gone. Flat ball there for Manton Thirroul. All over his opposite number though there. They numbered up well in the end there, the Butchers. They were a little bit stripped, but they number up well. Boyle and the Chasers were in front there. And Johnson's gone to try to reel that one on the full and has gone straight in and out. He's dropped it at first slip. So another golden opportunity here for the Collie Dogs. They'll have this scrum first up. Perhaps fortunate, the Dogs, that Johnson reeled that one in, because the Chasers on the outside of Boyle all in front of him there. Boyle will feed the scrum, and they've kept it in that time. Perhaps after the last scrum can be forgiven for not wanting it to shoot straight out the back again. Some numbers on this short side. Interested to see if they try any little trick shots. They don't. Cross on for Owner. Jeez, he hasn't had to deal with too much footy on his edge, Owner. He's done all his hard work through the middle today. He'll play it in front of the post, 10 metres out. Phillips with that all familiar little skip and a hop as he meets the defensive line. Numbers right if they can go there. They do. Cross dummies. He's going towards the line. Cross and the defence converges. Desperately close, Jack Cross. He'll virtually play it from in the Butchers in goal. Numbers again, and Rigg from dummy half. Well, Jared Costello will be absolutely ropeable. Twice now they've let Rigg just barge his way over from dummy half. And I just watched Jared Costello down in his position has stormed into the shed. He's not happy with that one at all. As I have said, he's always 11 times out of 10 going to go from that close to the line, and again he just barges his way over. For a side that sets such a high defensive standard, that's poor from the Butchers. So 2016 the score. This is another very kickable one for Cross. You think the margin will shoot back out to 6 points. Just the punch and the counter punch and the way it just continues to play out this afternoon. That tip of it going right down to the wire. Could be right on. Johnny Pett, who, if you've just joined us, isn't here with us in our commentary position this week on the Taste of Steel podcast. He tipped a draw, which was a brave tip, you would think. I don't know what sort of odds makers would give you on that one. In fact, given that they've had 2 draws last year, these two sides, you'd think those odds might be a little bit tighter than they otherwise would be, but 18 minutes left in this one, and Cross raises the flags. 22-16 the score. So Gallagher with the tee. And the way this match has gone, there's 17 minutes left. And it is ultimately ending up high scoring, but it doesn't talk about the quality of the defence we've seen for the most part. The Butchers some lapses on their own line. And Collies some lapses from deep down in Butchers territory, just letting them off the hook. So both sides, no doubt, will have some things to look at in the video, but a quality game. Both sides doing plenty with the footy. Phillips now up on the 40. Boyle at dummy half. He's looking to catch the markers, not square. He takes it to halfway. Jack Noble. And that pass goes behind Williamson, who's just come onto the park. Big lump of a lad, Williamson. Rig goes to Boyle, and Boyle, just a tough bouncing one for Higgins, but he attacks it. Spins away from one tackle, gets away from another, Higgins. The Butchers bunch, not even behind the play the ball at this point, over close to our commentary position. Simpson. Gallagher on the blind side. It's a good carry from the back row. You just sense the momentum in the arm wrestle just swinging the Dogs' way at present. Morris. Just the type of carry we typically see from him. Those tough ones. And now Johnson at dummy half. Noble goes to the line with the ball in two hands, but he'll take the tackle. It is the 5th. And Walsh, he's going to put this one high. A tough one for Reed. Butler also back there, but he's going to leave it for his fullback, and he bobbles it a little bit there, Reed. And he edges his way back over towards the touchline. And interesting, just like that, it's the Collie Dogs just take a little while to get back on side. Then he's played it, no dummy half. Butler, actually Saxonona, he was appealing to the touch judge for a penalty and went to sleep at his work on dummy half, but no harm done. That's a good carry. Hicks still going. That's a very, very important one there. Going was slow in that set. Back towards Ona. Ona still going. That's his second carry of the set. Good work from the centre. And he's on halfway. And beyond it. Rig onto Dow. Dow will take it over the 40, so they'll be in position for an attacking kick here on the 5th. Boyle to the right of the ruck. Normally patrols the left, but he's going to test out Tommy Simpson on this side, and Simpson, he's going to let that one roll into touch, and perhaps wisely his side been under the pump the last couple of minutes. They won't mind a walk to the scrum just to get some air back in the lungs. On a knife edge this one, 6 points the margin, still 14 minutes left to go. And you do sense Collies, they're going to need more points to win this one. It's going to be very hard, you'd think, against a fast-finishing Butchers side to hold on to that 6-point margin. Could quickly become a case of next scorer wins, but not at this point. 14 minutes left, plenty of time for either side to step up and really claim this one. Gallagher. That's a good run from Gallagher. He's just short of the 30. And Johnson, he's looking to catch the markers out. Walsh, he dummies Walsh. He's got support. He's going to get the offload away for Thirroul. Thirroul in space. Dragged down from behind by Manton. Alec Reid, the fullback, he's not there. Johnson, they're going to look for some space over on that side. Fletcher, the long ball. Gallagher. Gallagher propping and going back the other way. Now it's Morris. Morris almost gets away from Rig, but Rig comes again to make that tackle. Johnson onto Walsh. Walsh, he wants Gallagher underneath. Gallagher, even from a slow start, sapping some juice from the defence there. Johnson, Walsh, it is the last. Puts this one high. This is a tester for Butler on that side. Dargan coming through, and he's done well, Butler. Very well done from the winger on that side. He was under all sorts of pressure. He had two goes at it, but ultimately reels it in. And as we said on the last kick, it is the Butchers, or rather the Dogs, doing a little bit tough getting back behind the footy here. That's another good carry from Saxonona. Certainly been among their best this afternoon. Really churning through his work, the three-quarter, as they come to Boyle. And he's going to try to give Manton some space to work against Crosland, but Crosland does well. Ever reliable Crosland on this side. He just goes about his work with very few mistakes. Makes his tackles and does his job. Higgins with a head of steam here. He takes it up towards the 40. I just wonder if they might take a trick shot left here. There's some numbers, but Simpson straight through the middle. Simpson, he'll take Reid on, and Reid does enough to bring him down, but that's a great carry from the winger. And some numbers on the blind side. Fletcher wisely goes there, and it's just been spilt. And that absolutely goes begging. I think it's Shop who might have even just come onto the field over on that side. Simpson, there didn't look to be much doing on that run, but as we said, he's a winger in a back rower's body. And he just churned through the middle of the park there, and Alec Reid did just enough to bring him down, and the Butchers just getting a little bit excited on the back of it. Go blindside where there were some numbers, but the ball hits the deck and a let off for the Dogs. It's coming down. It's going to be a single play in this one. But it is the home side with the 6-point advantage. I think the next mistake, the next penalty, it's just going to be crucial. Both sides will need to be on their game in those areas. Ruskin coming in and finishing that one off. Some physical presence from the front rower, and Spencer, he might have copped a bit of a knock. Now Phillips getting in behind the ruck. That's where he loves to roam, but that's good defence there from Ruskin, although love to see what he can manage on the squat rack, Blake Phillips, because bringing him to the ground is just near impossible every time for one man, as Williamson takes it up towards halfway. Blake Phillips on the blind side on his haunches has got through plenty of work. Josh Dowell in that category as well. He takes it up to the 40. And there's numbers to the right here for Collies, but they go left to Boyle, and Boyle puts this one high. It'll be a tester for Higgins. Higgins is going to come forward to it, and Crosland wisely gets out of his way, and he takes it well in the end, Higgins, but a good kick from Boyle. And Crosland, he's gone straight through the middle as well. So the Dogs just getting a bit tardy in their work through that middle part of the field. To Tower now getting off the back of it, and they will say offside. Was about to say they didn't even get 5 metres back on that one. It was a good quick play, the ball from Crosland, and to Tower on the back of it earns his side a penalty. Dead in the centre of the park. Can't imagine whether it's Fletcher or Walsh will try to ping too much off the touch finder. Both sides, guys, on their haunches. It's been such a brutal game and played at such pace. 9 minutes left, developing into a real war of attrition. If we cast our minds back to that round 1 game, it was Collies in front in that one by 4 or 6 point margin there, and Thirroul pulled that one out of the fire, looking to do the same this afternoon. But as time ticks down, that 6 point buffer looking more and more handy for the Dogs. And Fletcher wisely not trying to pinch too many metres there with the touch finder. He'll grab about 15 there. So Dargan with the tap. And Shop taking it up towards halfway. Looks like he's been put on the back row slot over there, Shop. And now Morris in the middle of the park. Walsh now onto Higgins, some space. Shovels it on to Tower. Normally the right play. You want to give Tower room to move. Walsh now onto Ruskin, and that was forward, I think it was. That'll be the call. Butchers protesting, but it certainly looked forward from our position up here. Charlie Johnson obviously disagreeing. And again, just with their tails up slightly, the Butchers a mistake, letting the Dogs off the hook there. 8 minutes 52 left in this one. So still time that opportunities will eventually start running out for the Butchers as they try to reel in this 6 point margin. And that's Ellis in off the wing. And he's dropped that straight away, and well, we said penalties and mistakes will prove crucial down the stretch, and the young bloke there, he's just perhaps trying to play that one a little bit too quickly, and he's found the deck. As I said, 8 minutes 20 left. The Butchers now will start this set from well inside Dogs territory. Tower just getting some treatment on this side, but he shrugged the trainer off. Looks like he's okay. Jared Costello will be desperate to keep him on the park. Certainly one of their big strike weapons. Walsh now onto Higgins. Higgins dummies twice, and he's making his way towards the sideline, and Manton makes that tackle. Jared Boyle also involved. Walsh onto Gallagher. And here it is, 7 minutes to go. An absolute blockbuster of a game going down to the wire like we expected. Walsh onto Higgins at the second man. Some numbers for Fletcher. Fletcher dummies. He's going to go for the corner. He throws it to Simpson, and Simpson has put it down. Fletcher. He throws the dummy. He gets into the backfield, and Simpson was there. The pass just slightly in front of him. And now a penalty on the back of it as well. So the Butchers there, they'll hope that wasn't their last opportunity at it. Wasn't the last tackle. If he had his time again, Fletcher might have just held on to that one, but with the try line beckoning, your winger looming up, you'd throw the pass 9 times out of 10. And Boyle with the touch finder. Interesting to see where they go in this set. The Dogs, as we said, there's every chance that 6 points won't be enough to at the very least win the match. They'll be looking for a couple more. Penalties will be crucial. Jack Cross has been sort of hit and miss off the tee so far this year, but 6 minutes to go in this one. You'd think any penalty, the call will come from the bench to take the 2. And you'd think with this much time on the clock, 8 points would be a bridge too far for the Butchers. And that's Phillips over there on that edge playing this one. Wood. And you wonder if perhaps the 1 point comes into play here. Jared Boyle, he's within range, but Rigg goes the other way. And again, they'll play it. It is the last tackle. If Boyle will stop. No, he's going to go for the high ball. Crosland has put that down. And they'll get the call from the touchy, and they're going to say, knock on Butchers. And I would think the 1 point would have to be on the agenda now. We see Steelers legend John Cross running onto the park with the water bottles, and you imagine if he will just get the call that is the play. They've got a whole set to set up for it. Ordinarily, Paul Roberts came from the field in the first half. He'd certainly be one you'd look at, and obviously Jared Boyle can probably kick them as well, but the Butchers' defence will be sweating on his presence in the line. 5 minutes on the clock, 22-16 the score. Owner again, and he almost got away from Noble there, and he had open space in front of him. Holdsworth at 9, and Holdsworth back into the action. It's a slightly interesting one. Brodie Rigg twice barged his way over from dummy half and had been dangerous around there, but as we said earlier, he's got a lot of faith, Nathan Feen, in young Joel Holdsworth, and he's showing it here, putting him in with the game right in the balance. 4 minutes 40 on the clock. Colley's looking to put this one to bed. Morris and Ruskin making the tackle there. And Boyle, I think he's going to try to snap the 1 point there, and he shanked that. He had a lot more time than that. Jared Boyle, he was standing a little bit flat for that one. And the defence got right up in his face there and stopped that one. And now Higgins being sent back. Simpson now. So 4 minutes on the clock. The Butchers looking to mount something. They're going to have to do it from in their own end here. Through the middle of the park is where they've found some joy in this last 10 minutes or so. Going to need to be on their game defensively in the middle. The Dogs, as Whitty takes it towards halfway, and he's hit well there by Phillips. What a skipper's knock this afternoon from Blake Phillips. Gallagher lumbers up towards the 50 and driven back over the ball out the back. That should be play on, you would think. And, well, I think he might... Are we getting an overrule from the touchy? Well, again, you've got to say in these situations, the touch judge and referee in the field in a better position to call on it than we are, but that's certainly, from our vantage point up here, looked like the ball went directly out the back. So another one of those 50-50 ones. Whether they got that right will very much depend on who you ask, but getting down to that crunch time for the Butchers, opportunities will run out. You would think they'll get 2 more, perhaps even just 1. If they can get a good finish to this set, the Dogs, they'll look to give them the footy back. Deep down inside their own territory. I can't imagine the kick will go near the dead ball line. They won't want to be giving away any 7 tackle sets here. This kick will probably go high, or perhaps another shot at field goal. We'll see. Speculating from the commentary position, Jared Boyle down there, he'll be the man, and he's always a couple of steps ahead of everybody, so we'll wait and see what he elects to do. Tackled there by Walsh. Spencer making his way back towards the post. The pass there for Dow. Don't know if that's quite what Nathan Fiend's after in that situation. Some numbers on the right. Holdsworth goes there, and that kick takes a bit of a deflection. And the offside is the call from the Collegians camp, and I tend to agree with them. And now some space on this side. Walsh into the backfield. Walsh going. He's got support. Crosland looming. Reed making that tackle. So they're not going to die wondering. 1:50 on the clock. The Butchers on the attack. Been an absolute thriller, as we said. The clock ticking down. Offside is the call from the Butchers faithful. The whistle stays in the pocket for now as Higgins some space again. The scramble from the Dogs, desperate. Looking to deny the Butchers the hit back. Walsh, and this is all a little bit slow from the Butchers. Gallagher, and that's a fantastic tackle from Ant, and an even better offload there from Gallagher. I don't know how he got that ball away, but he has, and now it's to Tower. He gets the ball away as well. So space on this side. Shop, the young man, he's come on with a couple of minutes left, and now he's making his way up. It's last tackle, and you'd think last throw of the dice unless they can get the repeat. Johnson, the flick out the back. Higgins, some Globetrotters style footy here. Walsh, it's still the last. Walsh, he's going to put the kick looking for Crosland. It comes off the head of Tatawa, a Falcon. Now Crosland has it again. Hot potato footy from the Butchers as they look to steal this one. Ball's still alive. Well, this will be the try of the year. And Johnson, the kick in behind, the chase coming. Shop's got it, he's put it down. Oh, that's amazing. That is incredible. Forget the try of the year. We'll call that the try of the decade, try of the century. Lost count of the amount of hands that ball went through. It started on the left, came right. Ended up back on the left. Well, there it is. Of course, that is the margin at 20. 13 seconds left, so Luke Gallagher here is going to have a kick to level this up. From the corner, it's all going to come down on his shoulders. This is what you dream of when you're a kid and perhaps what you dread when you're an adult. And that is the hooter, so 22-20 the score. What a try that was. And I will say, again, we said through the call, Johnny Pett, Taste of Steel podcast, he called the draw, was his tip. And we'll see if it happens twice last year. These two sides played out draws, and well, we expected it to be a blockbuster, and boy, has it delivered. An incredible try at the end there, Shop on that side, and Gallagher, he's just trying to pinch every inch he can away from that sideline. On the bad side for a left footer, he has struck them pretty well though this afternoon, Gallagher. Thankfully there's no fans over on that edge. You can imagine they'd be giving him hell. The scene was reversed and you were in front of the old Butchers Old Boys Hill. You'd be getting all sorts of grief, but just the noise in his own head here for Gallagher. A hush falls over the crowd here. Everyone just watching where this one will end up. And I think he's moved that away. So that is it. That is it. The kick waved away. Collegians, they outlast the Butchers 22-20 in an absolute thriller here at Collegians Sports Centre. What a game for you to miss, Johnny Pett. It doesn't end up being the draw, and you have to think these two sides will meet again at some stage in the finals. It is one apiece now for the season. 2 points the margin on both occasions, but the Dogs, the scramble, they tackle their way to that victory. So well done to Nathan Fiend and the Collegians Collie Dogs. Thank you to our broadcast partners, the University of Wollongong and McDonald's. Thank you for joining us. I've been Mitch Jennings for Bar TV Sports. We'll see you out there next week somewhere in the Illawarra.